Listen, one day I'm gonna record you dancing one time in the break to that go live music. You can't
I want to be dancing, but I'm like, oh, you can see me, so I'm not gonna dance.
He's doing a breakdown.
Yeah, in the 30 seconds every time I dance.
Can I see the dance? Let me see.
No, the dance is done.
Welcome back to episode 5, Playing with Fire, an emotional one.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tell me all about it.
I'm eternally crying right now, to be honest. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say. Jules, you yeah?
I don't normally get emotional watching Survivor. Like, it's the family visit and that's about it. I was emotional in this one. I was actually crying.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah. I agree. Like, family visits every time, like I think I was on the train watching a family visit and I was tucked into the corner crying. So this is the same sort of thing. Like, this was a really emotional episode with, unfortunately, my winner pick going home. And also just a genuinely really cool, nice person, as Laurel said multiple times. And as we got to see. So it was awesome getting to see Rosie play. I had high hopes, but look, it's a game of Survivor. You can go at any time. And Red Tribe's feeling it. Like, they're in the dumps.
Hurting. But before we get there, let's walk through the episode, shall we? Because we're already at the end. We don't need to
Let's go to the end, work back. No, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. No, we started on Red Fuego. After their tribal, Laurel was talking about how she'd just flipped, made the move on Annabelle. She said she wanted to start the fire.
That she did.
Yes. Yeah, which I thought
she got the cogs turning for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I was here for it. Like, I love when moves happen.
Yeah. I like when moves happen too, as long as I'm not on the other side of that, so
and it wasn't it wasn't a move for the sake of a move, because sometimes people get caught up in wanting to make move, but actually somebody had to make a move at that point. The numbers were dwindling on Red Tribe. And she
like we were saying last week, if Laurel had stuck yellow strong, I think she would have not gone too far. So she needed to jump at some point.
Yeah.
She cut a number. She cut a number for the people on the other side that she wasn't feeling crashed out about, which is fabulous. Props to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we see Mark scramble with Rosie at this point, trying to relay why she flipped. I think it made perfect sense. Like I said to you guys last week, I think voting in the second choice and flipping then was smarter than voting in the beginning. We were saying Ma last week was scared about how Rosie would feel if she went after Annabelle, and doing it in that moment, you get to be like, like she said, I don't want to go to rocks.
Yeah.
And you have a reasonable excuse for doing it at that point in time, because I think it happens so quickly as opposed to doing it first up.
Yeah, everyone understands that if your reason is I flipped because I don't want to go to rocks, generally it's fair enough. You can't really blame someone for not wanting to go to rocks. So,
and she can also say to Rosie, I did it also to protect you. You could have gone if we went to rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
This way I guarantee who's going.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate for Rosie and Ma, as it does put them in the minority now.
Yeah. But we see Caitlin talking about her little victory lap.
Oh, I love her here. I was just like, that's my winner pick. There she is.
And she got another episode title.
I was like, yes, girl.
Another episode title for her. I'm beautiful. I'm unstoppable. I'm brave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
John says he was going to go to rocks for his girl, Caitlin. Good
for you.
Wow. Yeah. I think you said that Caitlin was your ride or die. So look, have you been through that many tribals together? You're the last 2 reds on the original red, you couldn't be any more bonded than that. And then this episode as well. So you're together. I can't see them flipping on each other. But Caitlin does have a really mischievous sort of chaos side, like Laurel.
I'm loving her.
Make moves.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm just that whole confessional is so good. I was just like, yes.
Yeah, when John told her that, she goes, "Oh, John said that I'm his ride or die." And she's like, "Oh, that was cute."
Yeah.
See him?
So yeah, she's not like, oh yeah, like me too, but she was like, that was cute. So
That's
leaves
nice.
the door open for potential backstabbing there, but I'm here for it. So just because Caitlin's fun to watch. So
Yeah.
Lots of fun. I'm really starting to enjoy her trajectory.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, maybe I'll be jumping on your bandwagon as her as the winner pick.
Yeah, so
Can't
go
do now.
Dani. Yeah,
Although
it's too
no,
late
well,
now.
last week I did say I wanted to jump off the CK bandwagon, but that would be originally was to jump on the Tash bandwagon, but now she's gone a bit purple, so I don't know. I just want everyone to win. It's so much fun.
Don't be boring, Jules. Come on.
Boring as shit.
No, but like,
Yeah.
sorry, I mean that like this cast is so good. I would be happy with almost anyone to win.
Yep.
Yes.
I'd agree.
Almost.
Oh.
We won't mention names, but we like everyone. Everyone's playing great.
The cast is great. They've done a very great job with casting, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's next?
So we had Ma was talking about how she wanted to make the move, but she was kind of too scared, and she was happy that Laurel pulled the trigger.
Yep.
So I thought that was interesting to see from her that she was, umming and ahhing, and she was happy about it, which is not what she was saying later in the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. John says, I feel like we could do so well. We have the chance. I wonder if the other side will see Annabelle going and then throw the challenge because of that.
Yeah, I would have loved it if like Ma and Laurel and those guys had been like, oh no, like tell nothing.
Jules, you're lagging out, but we know what you're saying. We know exactly what
you're saying. The faces are fantastic.
I agree with you. I think for Ma, although the game happened so quickly, it would have been really good to see her say to the other tribe, like, look, we're outnumbered now. Like, please throw a challenge. And it would have been good to see that, but yeah. So it would have been interesting to see Yellow throw a challenge, but either way.
Do you see them think about this at that point? Because, like, in their heads, they've now seen 2 or 3 of their old tribe flip on what was their original alliance. Why would they throw a challenge that instance? They can be like, fuck you guys. Now I want to win even harder. So you have to go back to tribal to like to fuck off for getting Annabelle. Like, no, thank you. They may have wanted to throw it before seeing Annabelle gone.
Yep.
Whereas I don't see the thought in their head being like, oh, now we should throw it to save those guys there who are there. In my head, I'd be like, fuck those guys. They've really turned, like, something has happened. Likely someone's flipped. They're done.
Yep. I'm not.
And also, you don't know. You don't know. Is it that someone's flipped or that someone's played an idol? In which case, if an idol's played, then those other 3 left are still in the majority. Like, you can't assume what's happened.
It's true.
No, that's true. But just a thought, like, depends on what Yellow were thinking at the time when.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then CK says, lost the most charismatic player in the game.
We're not there yet.
I'm not there yet. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Dani. You're normally the one
Dani,
reigning us.
Slow down, Dani.
No, because we went to Yellow first, and we had a fun confessional from Chloe where she's like jumping off the rock. Being like, I've got a story for you. Like, that was so fun.
That was good. That was really fun.
She's like, I've lost count of how many times we've won. I'm like, that must be so hard.
Oh, you poor darlings.
Yeah, she's had a whole day of just sitting back, getting to know people, winning challenges,
just having some fun, playing some games.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Poor darling.
it was good, a confessional from her, and good to see some energy behind it. And like, I'd be ecstatic if I won 5 in a row or something. So everyone else can eat it. Yeah, sucked in. I don't give a shit. You're going to tribal. It's not me. So I'm here for that. And then we see.
She says she literally has time to think about her confessional before trying.
Yeah, fair.
You do. You feel like, oh, what am I going to say to the camera now?
Yeah, that's great. Like,
maybe that's how you approach it.
Jules just off the noggin, sort of. And then we see Yellow Tribe together, talking, and Brady's talking about making a fake idol using Kate's note that comes with the idol, and then some
I think
other
they were
stuff.
talking about Dale's note because he had a note from his first idol.
Ah.
And that one, because Kate's note says that her idol expires at merge.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Whereas if they've got Dale's one, that one is the one that he's already played.
Yeah.
That note goes as long as it goes for. We don't actually know for sure yet. But yeah, if she doesn't use her idol before the merge, then it's useless. And as Brady said, it's the best looking fake idol ever.
True.
It's true.
Yeah, Brady's confirmed that. Yeah, Dale's note, Kate's idol.
Dale's note,
okay,
Kate's idol.
Cool. Yep, perfect sense.
Although if you're Kate in this moment and someone's talking about using your idol, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm just nod your head and say yes. And
I mean, if they're saying that, you probably won't need to play it because they're saying, well, we're just going to keep winning all the challenges.
Yeah.
Sort of, and like at one point, Brady said, if we do end up losing and you have to use it, that you do with it what you will.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing well, not pressuring her, but yeah, just saying if you don't use it, it's a great fake idol.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
And everyone on the other tribe knows she has one. They just don't know if it's a pre-merge.
The parameters of it.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how that gets used, or if it gets played while it's valid, and what happens around that. Considering that everyone in the game knows that she has it. And Yellow talking about whether to make a fake idol or not. It could be, again, as I said, the best looking fake idol with a note, with an actual idol. Like, that'd be crazy.
And yeah, John's asking if it's a useful fake idol. The entire tribe knows about it. I think if that tribe is sticking together and they want to use it against the new red tribe, but they've already got the numbers. Like, I don't know. By the time they get to merge, like, there'll be no one on red left, so everyone will know it's a fake idol.
Yeah.
So good point, John.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting though. And then we see Max talking about Kate just telling everyone she has the idol. And then Dale says that could potentially be bad because then he will be the target. And I believe he said at this point as well that CK had come up to him and said, look, it's you, Kate, and Tash on the bottom, obviously. So if we are to lose, it'll be between you three. Personally, I don't know about going up to the people in the minority and telling them they're in the minority is really
it's a move. It's a choice.
That's a Boston Rob kind of move. That's like, yep, you're on the bottom. Sucks to be you. What are you going to do about it?
You're the next out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he says that, like, he was trying to talk to Kate, make her feel like she's part of them so that she doesn't use the idol and potentially take them out. Oh, Luca, choices. Keep the Drag Race references coming. Only I'll get them.
Yeah. I'm not sure what CK's thinking was around that or why do it. I think he's just so gameplay orientated that he's just trying to do things, and I think that one might have just been a mistake, but I guess we'll see.
It's one of the first time where I've been like about CK. Like I knew that CK would be this alpha male type of player, and notoriously I don't enjoy that type of player at all. And it's just like it was the first time I was like, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to rein it back a little bit here. Like, it's just
oh my god, I would love to see a lip sync for your life on Survivor. That would just
I would love to see a CK lip sync for your life.
No, but CK is saying that to the bottoms. So he's there going, good luck and don't fuck it up.
I mean, he then says, like, if the idol gets played, it'd be scared that he's the one going home, and if I was them, I would vote me out.
Oh, he's got tickets on himself.
So he's basically, he hasn't gone to tribal, and he seems like the biggest threat on his tribe by just talking. So
I think he's desperate to do something, and he needs to just like chill out. Like, you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, or you won't, and then
But I mean,
get
that's also
voted
the
out.
thing with not having gone to tribal council yet. Like the wheels are consistently spinning. No one's had a chance to prove any loyalty. Everyone's just talk at this point in time. And I think he's just trying to make sure he has his ducks in a row for the quick moment where they do lose, and you have to go real quick. He's making sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's situations like that where you get people making moves for the sake of making moves, just because they haven't yet.
Yeah.
So if this yellow tribe doesn't go tribal and then they're all merged together, all those original yellows who've never been to tribal, they're going to be just itching, and they'll probably start coming for each other unnecessarily.
Yeah, it's going to be absolute chaos when we hit.
I'm
merge.
Here for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited for the merge episode. Everyone's going to be talking to everyone, and hopefully there's just a lot of footage of people talking in their small little groups about this, about that, what happened, and I'm really excited to see that. But I think, as you guys said, like CK's itching to vote someone out, and I think it was working for him at the start when he had Annabelle, because there was someone else on the tribe that sort of balances him out a little bit, and he's not so overpowering because there's someone else who I would consider
two very alpha energies. Yeah,
exactly. So now that Annabelle's not only on the tribe but she's voted out, sort of leaves CK in a bit of a rough position
because there's no one else in the game that's got that level of alpha.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right word to use, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, there's there's confident players, and there's players who are going to play, but not players who are going to. And I think alpha is the right word in CK's situation, that he's going to like alpha people around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then Caitlin's just going to come along and beta her way to getting him out.
Oh, I can't wait. So then we go to the challenge, I believe. After we see that bit of dialogue and see CK. Liz announces that Annabelle was voted out, and Brady's like, guys, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Everyone's fairly shocked on the Yellow Tribe, which is fair enough. We were shocked when we saw it happen. So
it was Tash who called Annabelle one of the most charismatic players, and CK said she was the most entertaining player.
I agree. Yeah, I wish she was still in the game for my viewing experience.
I wanted to see all the jury outfits that Kate talked about.
I know.
There's tribal like every hour or something, and she would have been changing her clothes every time.
Fantastic, so fabulous.
Oh, that would have been great.
Imagine her as like the mayor of Ponderosa. That would have been everything.
Yeah, she would have been ruling it with like a wand and just like telling people what to do and having a good laugh. Yeah. So sad we get to miss out on that. Like, she would have been great in the jury. Her questions, whatever she has to say,
facials,
just the eye rolls, and
all of it. Absolutely all of it. Liz then asks Max, does it make you worry about the dynamics on the other tribe? And he responds, they're definitely playing, the game is now started. And Liz is like, just now?
Back.
Yeah, I was loving that. I'm glad Liz
like now
responded to that. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, big moves.
He's like, well, I haven't had to do anything yet. So yeah.
I haven't really had the chance to
live in luxury. Five people have gone and hasn't gone to tribal once. That's crazy. So fair play. Yes, and then
we had the challenge. The floor is lava.
Loved it.
I love when players hack a challenge.
Yeah,
like they have something in mind. This is how it's going to go, and they go, "Nah, we're doing it this way." I love it.
Fabulous. It's a great hack. Was it Chloe who did it first?
Well, we don't know. We didn't see any of the red tribe.
No, sorry.
I think it was Kate went first for yellow.
Yeah.
And Liz said Laurel was doing the same thing, but we don't know.
Yeah. And fair play to them. They're just like, it'd be so slow. One crate, and you got to move it. You know, like as you've seen in Survivor, sort of the floor is lava challenges where they have barrels and planks and stuff.
Yeah.
they were trying to sort of copy that, where they just used the crates and
They
just
just
stood in
basically
them.
gave them
They just
tissues.
walked. Yeah, exactly. So it was good to see that.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
keep that in mind for future challenges. That was great.
Yeah.
Whoever created that challenge watched that and went, shit.
Nah,
Fuck yeah.
Back to the drawing board on that one. But yeah, we didn't see the discussions, but Brady and Tash were the ones sitting out for yellow.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Well, we know that it's not back. They can't do back to back. So CK set out last week.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was surprised Tash wasn't going to be throwing, actually.
Yeah, after her efforts from last week.
Yeah, we've seen her do well at throwing.
Absolutely blitz the throwing challenge before, and then instead Dale steps up to the plate, which I was happy for. Just like John in the puzzle last week, you step up to be the person that makes the difference between essentially winning or losing. There's a lot riding on that, especially if you lose, and then you get massive brownie points when you win. So good job to Dale for stepping up and getting the win. I think Ma was throwing on the other side, and Red actually started before Yellow did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though we didn't get to see any of the footage, obviously stuff went wrong there.
It sounded like Rosie kicked ass because it was like the commentary was, Rosie's really picking up the pace, making up time.
Yeah.
Would have loved to see it, but some technical difficulties there.
Yeah, CK was going slow as.
Yeah.
I was like when I look at CK,
he was the first one we saw to put the beanbag in the crate. Everyone else was sort of carrying it and walking. He's just like, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's using his head, but he couldn't use his feet because I saw him just waddling along. It was pretty slow. She was high scanning. She's just running, It would have been nice to see, but we'll take your word for it.
We're talking about not being able to see the red footage. I said to you guys before, I was like, I kept going back. I'd be like, did I miss it? Have I not seen it properly? Like, where has it gone?
Yeah. So Lucas said, if I remember correctly, Red fell behind and Rosie picked up a lot of speed during her runs. So
well done.
I think that was the same time CK was going. So slow CK and speedy Rosie. And then just down into the throwing of the challenge, which I liked how they had to use like that platform. Yeah. I thought that made it a little bit harder. You had to adapt to sort of whatever you were using and get used to sort of having that technique. So I was glad that was another element to the challenge. Otherwise, a fairly good challenge. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I liked it. I liked it. I keep saying I keep wanting Yellow to go to tribal, so I was just like, yes, Red!
I know.
And then, fuck.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah,
oh, fuck. I know.
John, Dale could have been better at throwing, ... the challenge. Well done.
Although I think Dale at this point thinks he would be going home.
Yeah, he does.
Tribal, so he's, and maybe that's why he did put his hand up to be at the end, because he was like, I'm not letting anyone else throw this challenge. Like, I am not going to tribal because I'm not going to be the one to go.
Yep. Good on him. So
maybe CK was trying to throw it.
Possibly.
Good point. He was pretty slow. A sad and very close win for Yellow Fuego. That's the second challenge in a row. It's been right down to the end. So it's like in my head when these new tribes happened, I was like, all right, Yellow's going to dominate. But we've had two really close challenges with, unfortunately, Red still losing. So I'm not happy about it, but it is.
No, it's been so close, and you're just like, yes, it's finally going to happen.
I know.
Especially because I think we've started the last two episodes with Yellow Fuego, talking about the gameplay, talking about what they want to do if they have to go to tribals. I'm like, yes, this is the episode.
I'm like, we're seeing this because they're going to tribal. Never mind.
No, they tricked us. The tricky editors.
Again. And the music was great.
Yeah, the music this whole episode was really good.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
yeah, great job on whoever was on music duty and the editing. It was great. So,
So
yeah, I think
after the challenge, we see Yellow Fuego first. Did you guys notice CK came back into camp with Annabelle's jacket?
Yes, yeah, I saw him. He had it on the mat after the challenge, so it was the Annabelle.
I didn't see it then. I saw it when he was walking back
he had it on the mat. Like after the challenge, not before, but after the challenge, he had it. Yes.
You guys are so
it must have been like, Annabelle's voted out and she has bequeathed to you her jacket.
It was bright orange. It was hard to miss.
Yeah.
New jacket case.
But yeah, we see the Yellow Tribe's reactions. Max was talking about how Annabelle was in his long-term plans and now he's going to have to find something else.
Which is, I like that from Max. We've seen a little bit more from him this episode. And we get to have a look inside his strategy and his thinking behind what's going on in the game. Not having gone to tribal.
At the start, we didn't mention. I forgot to talk about it, but he was sort of voicing that he's been quite good in the challenges, and he's worried that's making him a threat, and he needs to start working on his social game, which is really good self-awareness from him.
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, especially because he's. I think at this point you're obviously yes, you're aligned with CK, but you obviously know that he's a massive threat too, and being solely aligned with him, you're putting that secondary target that would have been an Annabelle. So it'd be I need to scramble here to find some other bodies that I can work with besides CK. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we see Brady saying someone over on the other tribe hasn't gone yellow strong and they've played the game. And that's really exciting because she was the one I wanted to vote out anyway. So
he's good with it.
I'm loving Brady's confessionals.
Brady's so good.
Yeah, he's on top of it. Even with the very first episode when we see him looking around for idols and everyone's really sus. You're thinking, all right, if Yellow go to Tribal Council, Brady's looking like a hot target to. He's got a great alliance with Chloe. He's got an idol. He's very strategic. He's very smart with his words. So I'm really enjoying Brady's insight into the game, and I'm praying Brady goes far because I'm really enjoying how well he's doing.
The past 2 weeks have been a strong showing from my final three.
Who's your final three?
Caitlin, Brady, and Max. Final three.
You got a good final three. Yeah, solid. All right, rub it in. Rosie just went home and I'm sad now, so it's all good.
Well, let's see. My winner pick is being a bit too alpha for any of our liking. I do have Max, and then Tash is getting a bit purple, but that's because she's on tribe. It's not going anywhere.
No.
I want to say Max is in my final three, but I have no idea who I put in there. So it's just random.
Bring up the chart.
Yeah, bring it up. See who my.
By the way, I'm winning now.
Are you really? Because of that?
You were winning, and then Rosie went out, and Dani and I had been level the whole time. We couldn't be separated, but now I'm winning.
A complete tie.
I've already admitted. I think I'm gonna come last. But...
No, the Joker's gonna come last. It's doing terrible.
No, your final three were Rosie, Tash, and Scott. So you got 1 out of 3 left standing for your final.
No.
His face.
It's like I'm out.
Who will have Tash? Come on, Tash.
Tash.
I'm really rooting for Tash right now. That's all I've got left in the top 3. So, you know what? It is what it is.
You had Tash's 2. You had Tash's 3. I had Tash's 4, and you had her at 2.
Wow. So we all believe in Tash. Tash, if you do me wrong, I'm gonna message Tash. How could you do this to me? So anyway.
So we saw CK speaking to Dale about, you have to go gather intel and see if an idol was playing. Dale's like, no. He didn't say that, but that would be me. I'd be like, sure, CK. Who's this guy?
Yeah, he's like, you never really know. It's always a bit sketchy about asking people for vote, what happened at the vote. You never really know sort of what went down. So, the 4 boys just having a conversation and CK just being alpha. But I like how even though CK is a bit of an alpha male, everyone else isn't directly holding their ground face to face, But when we see the confessionals, it's really clear that everyone's thinking for themselves, which is so much better than just watching people just like nod their head and just do whatever someone tells them to do. So that's why this cast is so interesting. Everyone is thinking about their own game.
We're not really seeing that pack mentality, which it's great.
Yeah, it'll be interesting merge. So,
For sure.
Yeah. Next, I have Ma confessional.
Yep.
And she said it was the challenge was the worst so far, and she's really hurting and feeling low. And we could tell Ma looked like she was hurting. And it was between her and another person. Josh really screwed her over. Yeah. So it's between her and Rosie, and she knows it, and she thinks that she's going to have to vote Rosie just to survive. So this is really where
started already.
Yeah, we get this. Just hits the whole feels. This whole next bit, just it's a hard one to watch. So.
Except for John. John had a happy confession. He's like, "Oh, for the first time since the swap, I'm actually feeling hopeful."
Yeah. Because it's like, I'm not really at the bottom. I'm finally like a power position.
I might have some agency here. Amazing.
Yeah.
We see him having a chat with Laurel. And Laurel's like, "Well, you guys could just take me out." And John's like, "No, that would be dumb." Which I agree.
It would be. I agree.
Yeah.
Because then you're basically taking it back to 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
Yeah. And you made your decision. You flipped for good reason of going with red, thinking having more numbers on the other tribe, and you just believe that it'll get you further in the game if you were to stay with your sort of yellow strong. And you want to create chaos, and Laurel really gets along with Caitlin. So I think overall, the only downside is obviously you're going against Rosie and Ma, who were the first two people Laurel picked during the tribe swap. So it's a bit like, you pick the people you really want to play with, and then you switch on them almost straight away. So that's why it is really emotional for everyone involved, except for John, who's just happy to be in the.
It's not gonna be me.
Yeah. Do we see a confessional from Caitlin here? I don't know that we do, but
no.
I mean, like, jump ahead quickly to electoral council. Like, everyone's being really emotional. I feel like she was in the back corner, like,
yeah,
I'm fine.
Which I thought was very iconic from her. Anyway, I'm back.
But I think it was so emotional because I feel like this group of 5, if they had been able to avoid tribal, would have been a really strong group. I think this would have been the 5 going forward, and they probably would have been able to pick up, whoever was left from original red on the other tribe, whether it's Kate and Tash, and they would have been able to run the table. And it's really sad that they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. Ma says that last episode. She was like, "These are the people I want. These are the people I want to play the game with." Like, so, we can understand why it's so heartbreaking for her.
Yeah, Ma right now is, if red. If she gets the merge, she's really sort of like a lone wolf. She wasn't really getting along. She was in the minority pretty clearly for the original yellow, and now she's.
It was Annabelle that was bringing her in, so her connection to that majority is gone.
Right, great point. Yeah, so if she makes it to merge, she's in a good spot of having options and being able to just talk to everyone, and people sort of know, like, all right, well, she's got nowhere to go. So
I think she could stick with Laurel, because Laurel's been pretty much straight up and said, "Well, I can't vote the other 2 out because I've just made this move," and that's relevant now. But going forward, I think they would probably stay strong.
Yeah, I think you're right if they can get there.
Yeah, but Ma has to find that trust in Laurel again, though, because Leo's saying, she screwed me over. At this point in time, Ma's feeling very vulnerable because she's like, well, I don't have a lot of trust there. My tie-in to the other side is gone. And last week she was saying, I don't really love anybody over there.
Yeah.
But right now she's in a state.
Yes. And as we see, I think it was Laurel and John talking. John's like, look, I have no other option. Like Caitlin and I have no other option but you. So we're 100%. And Laurel saying the same thing. Like I'm 100% with you. So it's pretty clear. And as you know, we go further, that Rosie's going to be the one going home. So then we have the first sort of really emotional conversation where it's not a confessional with Laurel, Ma, and Rosie. And Laurel's like, I just want to tell you I'm thinking about voting for you. And then
Rosie couldn't even look at her.
Yeah, just very upset. And then
she was like, keep going. I cried and everything.
Yeah, Laurel's crying.
And like we saw Laurel in her confessional, she seemed to be sort of like, oh, I need to vote out Rosie because Ma would be a better agent, a better ally further in the game. And then we see her sort of like trying to convince herself that she should stick with Rosie, and it was obviously a hard decision for her. And I don't envy her having to make that choice.
No, but of the two, I get that that's her choice. Rosie is a beautiful person, and someone like you definitely want to play with if you have the numbers. But if they are so friendly, they like their people, they don't want to step outside of that, they feel bad about making a move or doing those sorts of things, they're people that are really hard to like play with, because you've got to spend your time convincing them of something that might be seen as snaky or, you know, a blind side. And like I want someone who, like if I was Laurel, I want someone who is like kind of willing to play that with me, not necessarily where I'm at, but at least open to the opinion, open to having those discussions, rather than me worrying about how she's going to feel if I brought that to the table. So I see the choice here. Yeah,
100%.
And, you know, Laurel needs an ally. Like they're probably going to need to recruit more people if they're going to have a chance. She needs someone who is going to be a strong ally who can convince other people. And I think Ma is the better option of those two to get someone else on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And especially again because Annabelle is gone, which would have been a Rosie tie to Kate, to like, you know.
No, but Jules knows, so it's all good. I wasn't following. I was not. You said stuff, but I was just not
there.
zoned
out. All right, move on.
Yeah, sorry.
Move on.
Sorry.
Thanks, Ethan.
You guys both know, so I apologize.
Anyway, we see a conversation with where Laurel is telling Rosie to give voting for her. I've got in my notes all crying in brackets me too.
Aww.
Just so emotional. And I liked that Laurel pulled her aside and said, look, I'm going to vote for you, and explained it to her and said, look, I made a move last round. I have to keep going.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing to make a move.
Otherwise, it does become voting out Annabelle becomes a move just for the sake of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for her in the long run.
Like she's made her bed, she has to lie in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. Is there anything else before we get to tribal that you've written down?
They're all like crying and hugging and
they just talk. They're just having chats, just as you said.
With the swelling music in the background to make everyone
the music was so good. Like, great job on that part.
What they missed in the challenge, they made up for in music.
Agreed.
They did. All right, so tribal.
It was completely dark when they got to tribal.
Yep.
So I'm like, dark. I was sort of wondering about what time of the day it was. Like, is that the end of that day, or is there going to be another challenge?
Night challenge, yeah. I'm thinking there will be one more, and then merge will be, or I'm thinking they'll merge and then maybe go to sleep. Like, that could be pretty interesting.
I think it's probably not as late as we're thinking it is, because they filmed in winter.
Like 5 o'clock, 5:30, yeah.
Probably not even nighttime yet, but it's dark.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
But that just threw me off, because I was like, wait, it can't be getting ready for merge now.
Yeah, one more, and then after that, merge will happen. I would like to see merge happen before they sort of sleep and then go into the morning. It'd make it really interesting for strat and stuff like that.
I think they would, just to give them that extra time, because you don't want to have them like sleep separately, wake up, oh, now you merge, and you've got 10 minutes to work out your merge vote. Like you need more time for a merge vote.
Yeah, you'd like more time, but look, we'll see what happens.
A scramble would make it fun though.
Oh, there you go. John's saying it was only mid-April, so just after daylight saving. So yeah, it's probably not that late.
Yeah. But yeah, tribal. Liz asks everyone, what's the feeling like now? She asked Ma, I'm not really too sure, but Ma responds, it's not great. It's out of my hands this time. Super emotional. I'm tired. I'm cold. I'm tired of losing. And there's just a lot of emotion right now. And you can see it. Like, Laurel is crying.
The three original yellows, so Laurel, Ma, Rosie, they're all sitting there just like obviously just down. Yeah. John and Caitlin are in the background just like, okay.
I would be too. Yeah. Don't say anything, but just sort of like, just let it happen.
Let them have their moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you say anything here that can really fuck you, like just be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't make them have like a live trial where the three of them then decide to change their minds.
Yeah. Absolutely. So oh man, it's hard to watch. So Liz says to Caitlin, it's the end of the day. You've been to every tribal, along with John. She's like, yeah, getting pretty sick of it, sort of straight to the point. Not much to say, and I agree, don't need to say much, just sick of going to tribal.
Yeah. And Liz was like, what do you hope happens for the people to the left? She's like, I hope we win. Like,
yeah.
Keep it simple. Just, I want to win.
At this point, that's all you want.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. So, Luca, this is what I said before. Kayla's just like grinning in the background. Everyone's so emotional. She's like in the background. It was fabulous. I fucking loved it. I thought it was so
I'm not going to say my name. I think it's a 180 for her. The last tribal, she thought she was gone.
Yeah. I like from going from a tribal to almost being voted out to a tie to a revote, and then being in the clear majority, you'd be feeling pretty good. Yeah,
feeling great.
Yeah. So and like her and John are great, and then the others are the complete opposite, including Laurel, who's the deciding factor for the vote. So, man, but this is John, is there any strategy or is it all just heartbreak? And I really liked that question and comment from Liz, because she's really reading the room. She's seeing what's going on. She's clearly very emotional. There's a lot of heartbreak. So I'm really happy with that question. And he just said, every challenge you can see, everyone wants to win. We're cheering. Like, no one wants to win more than we do. And like, it's just a good answer, don't need to talk about all the emotional stuff. That's not your department right now. You just want to win and put that out there. So, yeah. Then Liz says,
vote. Oh, no, go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've written it down, so I'm just going through like what Liz asks and stuff. So she asks Rosie, how's the tribal for you? And again, I'm glad that like we've seen people talk. We're seeing everyone talk now, including Rosie, when at least we know that she's going to be the one most likely voted out. And she's like, yeah, this is the worst one. And then she says, yeah, good doesn't compare to luck, and just talks about like Rosie knows she's going home, but she genuinely cares about Laurel so much that even when we see her voting confessional and just now talking about basically the person or the people voting her out, she's so kind towards them. She just she wishes them the best. She wishes Ma the best. Laurel's still crying. the music's pumping, and it's it's just sad for Rosie. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
But yeah, we get to the vote, and Rosie threw her vote at Laurel, and everyone else votes for Rosie.
Yep.
It's just sad. But I did like how in Rosie's final words, she said that she voted for Laurel. She's like, voted for you just to say, go get him, Tiger. I hope you do the best. Like, she took as an opportunity to say, good for you.
Yeah.
I liked her whole final words. It just shows what kind of person she is. She's like, how can I be upset? Look where I am. Look at this environment. Like, I thought it was really good.
Luca's comment, Dani, the second last one. It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Oh shit. Oh, can you imagine?
She's like, I'm just gonna play this
hey,
rock.
I found this rock.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. This is so random, but
Laurel.
like, imagine that. That'd be crazy. Rosie.
Hey!
Hi. Can you see and hear us okay?
Yes. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah.
Done. Thank you for joining us. I know you just got home from work, so appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. I feel like it's very kind that you would invite me on the show when I am really behind. I've got no idea what's going on.
And that is in true Rosie fashion. Like from your whole arc has just been the sweetest fall. You've made everyone fall in love with you. And as I said to you the other day, we've loved watching you and your arc. It's been so much fun.
Oh, thanks. That's really kind of you to say. I cringe when I think about how much I cried in that show all the time.
I was crying watching it. What are you talking about? I wasn't tired and hungry.
Ethan and Jules both shed tears for you.
Huh?
Ethan and Jules both shared tears. They shed some tears on your vote.
It was really sad to see. Rosie, you were my winner's pick. So double sad for you going home. But I just thought like such a game player and such a social butterfly that you'd be able to just like social butterfly your way through the game and get the win. But unfortunately, you got voted out. You went to a few tribal councils, but you also had what we thought and what probably you and Ma thought was a core alliance of yellow v red going into the tribe swap to Laurel flipping and basically deciding your fate since you lost that challenge. So yeah, it was a heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal to like in hindsight realize that they single-handedly destroyed an alliance. But that's what happens when we just go on face value sometimes, I guess. Rather than stopping to be like, maybe this is all too good to be true.
Well, talk us through that vote, like the Annabelle vote, which was last week. Where it was the like was a tie vote, revote, and Ma flips over to Annabelle. Talk us in real time how that went.
That was like actual absolute heartbreak because Annabelle. I'm assuming you've already interviewed Annabelle from yesterday. Then. Yeah,
she's as iconic as ever.
She said you guys were holding hands a lot.
Yeah. I may have forgotten that I was playing Survivor, and I may have just thought that I was just like at a scout ground making friends, feeling a sense of belonging. It's quite a nice feeling to have with strangers.
It is, absolutely.
But she's a queen. I really didn't see that coming at all. I was absolutely like destroyed. I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe anyone would flip. In my mind, I was like, well, of course we'll go to rocks. If need be, but in my mind, I would have thought that people would just chicken out and like keep Annabelle in. Like, of course, was my thought. Yeah.
Did you guys talk about rocks before you went?
No, but I'm pretty loyal for the most part, and I wouldn't have seen a point of playing the game without Annabelle. So I would have gone to rocks. Yeah. Keeping in mind, I'm not as like I thought I was a strategic person until I played Survivor, and then I learned people think about oh, what's the word? The thing when there's like heaps of choices. Options. Like people are like thinking about and like people are like literally like plotting like multiple universes while they're playing in the one Survivor universe. And I can barely like I remember like just barely being able to like count with my like hands like how many votes are needed to, you know, like doing like all the number things. So yeah, it just didn't actually occur to me that plan B and C was necessary. I think I probably gave myself an overly like sense of security and safety because I personally was just having a good time. So I was like, what else is there to like worry about? Got a good group. We're outnumbered. Like we've outnumbered them. We'll just vote them off one by one, and then we just make it to the like to the merge. Like, what else would you want to do?
Yeah.
Why would you question that dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. My little kitty Caroline wants to say
oh
my goodness! Hello. Sweet thing.
So, Rosie, you played again after this Melbourne game that we're watching now. You played a trial and you actually won.
Yeah.
How was your mindset going into the trial game, having sort of experienced the blind side and sort of like, I guess, the backstabbing of someone in your alliance? Did your game evolve? Were you thinking a lot more strategically than you might have the first time around?
So I think that there are a lot of different factors at play, and so that's something that Survivor really taught me, is that we don't control everything. There's no way, and that I think I talked about this in the my exit, like the Vietnamese expression, like good just isn't as like doesn't compare with luck. And I really hit the jackpot with the trial because, unlike Laurel, Matt is a genuinely loyal player. And Matt genuinely does want to actually play together to the end. Yes. Oh wait, have I just spoiled shit, or is this already like?
No, I don't.
No, the trial is we know
trial style. Yeah.
And cool. And Ethan and I know that about Matt. So that's
Okay. Sorry.
No, he didn't spoil anything. He is, and I think anyone who meets Matt in real life knows he's that kind of person.
You know that the second you meet him.
Yeah, the minute you meet him, he's just a person you're like, oh, this is a good egg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think like Jess just also gave like the most beautiful description about how like he loves hard, and so you can't help but love hard when you're around him too.
There you go.
Matt's here supporting you.
Yeah.
So I think that that's probably the fundamental difference, is like Matt was genuinely like a play to the end person, and it turned out Laurel was secretly plotting my death like I hoped. Well, so not hoped, but I like feared. I'm thinking that at the time, being like, this is gonna really suck if it turns out this is what's happening. And it was. So I guess perhaps there was a part of my like overly optimistic self that knew, but I guess I was probably still forgetting that I was playing Survivor, not Friends. So yeah.
It's hard, and that's hard to remind yourself, especially when you do meet people that you have genuine connections with. Like you meet them, you're like, this person is my kind of person. I want to be friends with you in real life. I love everything about you. And then to like play like what can be such a vicious game against them, like to beat them, it's hard. It's hard to differentiate sometimes.
Big time. And I think that I was thinking about that in like on my ride home for this interview. It's like I think what's really challenging too is that Survivor is a finite game at the end of it all. Like the rules are still very much within a sandbox of some kind. And I think the biggest difficulty for me about Laurel is like I kind of saw it on this like broader political social scale as well, where I thought to myself, like, there's a level of ruthlessness here that Laurel has that I don't have at this point in time, because I haven't had to be so ruthless to shine and be a certain way. And I think I at the time kind of felt this sense of like, you know what, in the broader, bigger scale of things, like it's more important that certain narratives actually persist rather than the idea of like revenging back on what is like less important. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
so
it was
beautiful.
It's super sweet, but in my head I've been like, revenge. Like I love it, and it's super sweet, and like I know I say the same thing with Matt too. I'm just like, I love it, I love you so much, but I'm like, the competitor in me is just like, I can't move past it. Like in the game scenario, in real life, I'm down. I'm as loyal as they come, but in a game, I'm like, no. There's no great good here. This is the good, and this is where we're going.
Well, I find that is what's so tricky though, because truly I do believe Survivor is life. And so I really do believe that the way we play is more important because it reflects actually the way we're going to exist. And so I'm sure that there are people right now who are like, well, you did get rid of Baz when you played the trial, so what kind of future is that? And you know what? We could deep dive into like the cycle, like the things that went on.
We're going to leave it alone.
We're here for this game.
But I think that for me, it's I do think that's important, like to think about too. Like, what is the point of winning something if, like, what has to be compromised on the other end for that? Because then what is that like outcome really?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why Survivor is such an interesting, dynamic, crazy game, because generally speaking, it does bring out your inner personality, sort of like the person who I would say you are on the inside. You know, are you someone who's really loyal, or are you someone who's really strategic? It really brings that out of you. But at the same time, some people have a better ability to put apart game from reality, even though they do cross over. So getting to watch you, Rosie, was amazing, because even though the Rail did vote you out, you were so kind, and you were even cheering them on to do their best. And you know, that's why we're all thrilled to have you here and get the opportunity to talk to you, because you do have such a kind heart. And to see someone get voted out and then talk about the person who voted them out that way really shows to the person that you are. Like Dani and I, if someone voted me out, I'm having a little word or two. A few nice things might be said, but they also might not be said. So it just a testament to you for that. Yeah.
Well, it would depend who it is. I mean, I adore Laurel. I mean, if there was a player who I didn't enjoy and they got rid of me, I would have like fucking cut sick, and I would have talked about why I don't like that person. But luckily, that wasn't what happened.
Well, on that note, Maddie P actually had a question for you. If I bring it up, sorry, give me a second.
I got it.
He wanted to know, who did you most want to eliminate in Playing with Fire?
Oh, that's really difficult to answer. Because even though you've all said like you're so nice, actually I have a lot of people I would have happily gotten rid of.
Yay!
Honestly, I think just probably it would be CK would be the main one.
Why is that?
I would have. There was a lot of like social commentary he made that rubbed me the wrong way at the first campfire. And like initially I was like, maybe he is like trying to be like a better person in the world. And then as the night went on, I was like, no, I don't think he is. I think he does. I think he's read a lot of blogs about how to sound like a nice white guy, but it's like not working out. If I could be really blatantly honest, like what kind of white guy is like telling the whole group like, well, you're telling a whole like campfire, hey, if you want to be a good guy, get a vasectomy. Like that's how you honor your women. Like what the fuck? How about you like talk to the women at the campsite and ask them like, what do you like consider? Like it was just like this non-stop ongoing train about how he's like such a great guy, but never at one point does he like take a moment to like have any interest or curiosity about the women or anyone around him to be like, what's your life about? What do you do? What are your views about feminism? What's your lived experience? I don't know. Let me ask something that shows I have some sense of desire to know you beyond a two-dimensional like summary of what I understand humans to be, because I still have this conclusion that I'm a good guy. So I'm sure that if I got to know him, this whole conversation would change, but because I only know him in this two-dimensional way from that campfire, I would have taken great pleasure in being the one to eliminate him, but Kate did, and Kate's amazing, so that was also really satisfying. Oh shit, that's another spoiler. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
I'm the worst at this.
It's okay, Rosie. Don't stress. It happens. Don't tell us when it is. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
We are completely unspoiled.
We've only seen you go. We don't know anything else that happens.
Can we time
Fake
travel?
news, guys. Fake news.
And Rosie's leaving.
Yeah. Let's just like
it's okay.
There was another question. I think Ethan, you wanted to ask about bag check.
Yes. So we heard you had some stuff in your bag. I don't know what it was, Rosie. But...
A bag check. Can you tell us about the bag check?
We've had a couple of.
We heard about condom gate, but apparently there was something else found.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh my goodness. Yep. Okay. So this is like literally just got. You know what? I feel like considering I accidentally ruined this like show for people who are watching the show for real. Sure, I will humiliate myself a little. So my partner at the time, Baz, drove me to Survivor, and they were going to party with some friends. I forget where, but so it was kind of like a drop you off, and then I'm going to go party with some friends. And at the time, they were just like, "Have you seen my party box?" And I was like, "Nope, got no idea what that party box is." And so like they'd been hunting around the house for it, and they were like, "Fuck, I don't know where my party box is." And I was like, "Well, we can't help you." And then get to the Survivor location. There's like this really, really strict rule of absolutely no talking, no eye contact, like no getting to know each other. And then we're meant to just like quickly check everything so that we're not breaking the rules, because they've very firmly said if you do break the rules, you're like immediately going to get kicked off. And so then I was like, okay, I better double check. And of course, the party box is in my backpack. And that's one of the rules of what will get you kicked off the show. So I was just like, fuck, this is like simultaneously hilarious, but also terrifying. But then, so I'm like trying to make eyes at one of the volunteers to be like, I need some help. And she's like, what do you need? And I'm like trying to like whisper my situation, and I'm getting like really embarrassed. And she was like, come over here, we can talk over here if you want. And I was just like, I have a box of drugs in my bag and I don't want to get kicked off the show. Yeah, and so then that was my embarrassing entry into the show. But hopefully I didn't tease myself.
I think condom gate's more embarrassing.
Yeah. Scott having
condom gate? Rosie? Have you heard about condom gate?
Vaguely. Can you remind me?
So basically, when they were going through Scott's bag, they basically found a whole box of condoms.
Oh yeah, well, you never know what might happen.
That's what he said.
He did say he was going to try and find love.
He was looking for love.
This is what I'm talking about how like real like Survivor fans like plotting multiple realities all at once. Right. It's like mind-bending, right? Like that you're thinking, I'm gonna win, but somehow we'll have like sex at least twice during the game. Like I will find time to do this.
I'm sorry, if I'm not showering, that's the last thing on my mind. Like
it's cold weather. It's different.
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently he brought enough for everyone. So I think he, just like your party box, was in for a party, and unfortunately that got taken away from him. So yeah, thought that was quite funny as well, to bring some naughty stuff into the camp. And yeah,
I think what would be funnier is like in this other reality where there's like this huge raging sex party going on, and someone's like, if only we could be having protected sex right now, but for some weird reason the survivor rules are it's unprotected sex or nothing. And it's like, survivor, sex party, which one should we do? I don't know.
And then one episode is just everyone getting STD checks.
And then that's when they have to like introduce this new policy where if someone, does bring condoms, that's the one thing that you're allowed to have. Like
it's encouraged that you have safe sex on someone.
Laurel says, imagine being voted out of an orgy. Oh, that's just a slap in the face.
Or maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe I would love to imagine like someone takes like a real like more than human approach to it, and they're like, look, I've researched and I found out like bonobos are like this matriarchal structure, and that's how they resolve arguments, and so this is what we're going to do. Can you imagine? And then like somehow they're so charismatic, everyone else is just like, okay, maybe this is how we work out who we're going to vote out. And someone's like, yeah, think about it. It's like about endurance, like conflict resolution,
girth, size, yeah, all of it. Absolutely. Like, you get to measure it up, see what's going on. Anyway, look, I can't take this conversation seriously. I'm just gonna, let's just go back to the game somehow.
Okay, so, reality, not alternate reality.
Yeah. So when Laurel told you that you were going to be the vote, did you think about like trying to change things up, or you just sort of resigned to the fact that you were done?
Okay, let's think about that moment very honestly. I think first of all, I was like in such like shock. I couldn't believe it had happened. It did cross my mind about whether or not to do something, and I do remember approaching Caitlin and John. I think by then Caitlin was already in my bad books, and I was like, I hate you anyway. I don't really want to do anything. And then I think at that point I just decided, like, in terms of like resolution, like in terms of like resolution, it's realizing, yeah, like that level of ruthlessness just hadn't crossed my mind yet. And then respecting, like, in terms of like our out of like life situations, that had been a different like existential need almost, and respecting that. I think as well, because I used to play Survivor with friends like for fun, and this has happened to me before, where my really good friend also betrayed me in a similar way, and I remember also experiencing this level of like moral conflict of like what to do when your good friends put you in the situation. And I think, I don't know, I just feel so like sad in some ways about just like I feel sad in many ways about like just like the inequalities we experience in life. And so I was just like, let's be honest about the reality of this and the likelihood. And it's okay.
How did you feel throughout the game? Because you started on a yellow strong tribe, right? Is that right, guys? Right. Yeah. Where you hadn't lost the challenge, and we got to see in some of the earlier episodes, you're very high-spirited in your confessionals, and you're enjoying yourself. And then you get to this poor, sad red tribe where everything's going horribly wrong, and you just join the losing train. What was it like as a experience for you to go from really high winning challenges to a really low point? You had such sort of up and down. Did that how did that sort of impact your feeling about the game as a whole?
It was super disappointing because I actually thought, in terms of the physical aspects of the challenges, that I was doing a pretty good job too. So I feel like I would have, and yeah, I felt like that was going to be a strength of mine to be able to like, one, be good at challenges, and two, be able to like kind of contribute to the tribe in that way. So definitely it was deflating. And then especially after that betrayal and just being like, why the fuck am I even here other than like to be part of actually like this other grander plan? That sucks big time. But then at the same, yeah, so that did suck, that element to it. I wasn't too fussed though in like initially, because there are so many examples of losing a lot, but you still do well. I'm thinking of like Malcolm and Denise in one of their seasons, like they sucked.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't like completely demoralizing, and I was actually still super optimistic. I think in hindsight though, John probably threw a bunch of the challenges, and I think that's like a real bummer, but what you gonna do?
So you think John threw a few of the challenges? What would they be? Just the last two?
Well, it occurs to me that I really shouldn't do any more spoilers by accident. But I just think in hindsight, it's like we couldn't have really sucked that bad. I feel like there was like
you were in it though, like you don't ever beat badly. Like the losses.
Yeah, I mean, this episode you guys got to the Ma got to start throwing first. If anyone threw it, it was Ma.
Yeah, but I don't think Ma wanted to throw it. I think she was pretty like, we need to win.
Yeah.
Whereas with John, like now that I've like gotten to know them like outside of the game and stuff, I'm like, you're like a really strategic motherfucker. So,
he was going for the intentional Matt scene. Is that what you're saying?
That's fantastic.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I do swear a lot, but what was that?
Like, oh, good.
I said you think he's going for the intentional Matt scene.
What does that mean?
That's Malcolm and Denise. Their tribe was Matt Singh, so it's a theory that now people will try and throw challenges to be the last couple standing, and then they'll be able to get to the end because no one will be looking at them.
Yeah, well, I do think he did a very good job. Like,
he's denying. He says he just sucks. He was not throwing. He denies.
I want you done.
Rosie says otherwise, Sean.
Yeah. Look, there's like I think that what's been pretty interesting about Survivor is like the conversations around intersectionality are becoming more like prevalent for whatever reasons. And I think that something that has yet to come up though is like the internalized racism that we carry as well. And you know, some people like really embrace and get excited about the intersectionality, and I think for some of us though, there's kind of this feeling of like there's not room for all of us, so we've got to start self-destructing, which is not me making like a I'm not saying that like in a negative, like there are, you know, that's a bad thing to do, but as in like I do think that is what happens sometimes though. It's kind of like when women, because we're so used to there only being like two managers, so we're just like, well, there's only room for me, and we don't realize then we actually end up cutting each other in order to get that role, rather than thinking to ourselves, what could we do so that we're all in a position of power? But like that goes to like me talking about like that goes back to like Survivor though being ultimately like a finite game, and there isn't that much room to be considering like the social, political like maneuvering or like transformation that you could be part of while you play the game. I don't think that's really prioritized.
No, and especially in that situation, there is only room for one.
So
a lot of your internalized stuff, whether you realize it or not, comes to the forefront because at that point in time, there isn't room for everybody. Especially like for like the US guys, for us, we're playing for a lot of money, for people setting people's families up, for like, you know, outside of the LRGs in real survival world, you know, that like there's a lot on the line for those people who are competing. It's not just, you know, for fun to win.
Yeah. So I'm saying Laurel made the entire tribe the POC and LGBT alliance, so we were forced to vote out each other.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And that's what I mean. I guess that's what I mean though, like it's the difficulty about like what is the kind of reality that we're wanting to live with, because I get that as like, yes, we have come on a game where there is only one, but it's like, but how do we win that? And what could we be doing along the way? And I do think that is why like previous like recent Survivor seasons, the US ones anyway, Australia still has a long way to go in terms of being comfortable talking about any of these like intersections of class,
100%.
gender, race, and all of that. But I think that they're finally willing to have these conversations because it is part of, it's like back to my like original thing, like Survivor's life. Like this is like what is like creating like our fabric of what we believe is acceptable or unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I mean, you've seen as like a Russell Hantz, really just shows sort of what type of person he is outside of the game, when he sort of emotionally manipulated people to a level that you hadn't seen inside the game. So it is really important to take those things into consideration. And in my experience playing Sydney, I didn't think about that at all. I was just playing the game. So although, as you said, maybe some of the underlying things that you put like that you would have might come out in my headspace, and I'm sure in quite a few people, they're just thinking about Survivor and that's it. So maybe with a lot more time, 100%. But my thought process was just, how do I survive to see another day? Sort of like, let's just play the game, and didn't even think about anything like that. So yeah,
which is so interesting, right? Because like I guess what this makes me think about is I remember like when I learned, this makes me feel super old. I remember learning like post World War II, like, you know, the world was like in a like philosophical, moral like crisis, because there was this question like, what happened to us that we just allowed what just happened to happen? And, you know, we really had to start reflecting a lot more deeply about morality and ethics. And this idea even of like, okay, like World War II was kind of a free pass. We just had to do what we had to do to survive. Now what in terms of like rebuilding? And I guess like I think that's I think that even though we might just say it's just a game, for me it's not just a game, because it is a reflection. Like Survivor is a game, but it's also like our chance to be like extremely creative or imaginative. It's a chance for us to like live and explore like aspects of our identity, or just like explore full stop. And so I think coming into it and thinking about those things is relevant for me anyway. But
yeah, I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. And yeah, I don't know how to add on to the
I
conversation.
could sit here and like with a glass of wine and listen to you talk about this kind of stuff all day long, but I think we're here to talk about Melbourne Survivor. Did you guys have any other questions about the episode or Rosie's game in general?
Ethan's normally king of questions. He's lost him
I
in
know.
the deep now. You sent him down the path.
Down the rabbit hole. Yeah. I don't know. Was it overall a positive experience for you?
Yeah, it was life-changing. I loved it. Yeah, truly, like I loved it.
Yeah, are you still really close with the few people, like the people that you cared about playing with in the game? Did those close relationships continue outside of the game for you as well?
Well, I have to confess I'm really shit with social media. So I miss out on most of the conversations and things that occur. But whenever I do get to be around a Survivor group, it's just like definitely like a very like heartfelt. I feel like what's really delightful about the whole like Survivor community is everyone is so curious and reflective, and has like a genuine interest to think about like, what is this world that we live in? I guess that's why Survivor is such like an appealing game to be watching, because it is such a chance to put a magnifying glass on like so many of these questions that we have about like how do dynamics work and this and that. So no, I truly find it such a delight to be in Survivor spaces. If it was one of those things where if only like, Dani, it's so great you just messaged. I don't know how you got my, oh yeah, you did get my number through Matt, but like stuff like that, like if yeah, I would love to go to stuff more, but I'm just really shit at checking anything. So if anyone who's listening is like, oh, is that the case? I'll just like send you a message. Yes, please.
Get up her phone, guys. You've heard her. It's free reign.
Matt.
I'm just saying to the people listening, it's free reign to send your message. You've just opened up the floodgates. People to get back in touch with you.
You'll wake up tomorrow to like 30 messages.
Perhaps not, but everyone's amazing. I really like everybody. It's such a delightful thing, and like I only bothered to get like an ADHD like test last year, and it turned out like I do have ADHD. And it's one of those things where sometimes when I chat to people in the Survivor group, I'm just like, it's also like the level of diversity that makes the group so special. Like it's not only like neurodiversity or like cultural diversity, like sexual diversity. It's like literally any type of like ways that you could see that the world is like unique. It's all in the Survivor group. And when I think about that in relation to say like other types of socializing, like say like even like a standard office job where it's like, you know, pretty like shoulder shrug, like people will let you into about like 1% of their life. You know, like it's a very, I feel like we all like heart bond in a different way, because
100%.
Not only do we like talk to each other a lot, but to be on a show like this, you well, I know for me, I shouldn't speak for everyone, so I won't say you, you know, I feel this real sense of I've got to let you know who I am for real, like, because like what else is like, what's the point? And what I love the most is that in other contexts, people will be like, "You're fucking weird. Can I please not see you anymore?"
Yes.
Whereas, like,
raise your hand if that's happened to you.
Like, you know, like I've literally been to weddings where people are like, "Why are you so fucking metal? Like, just like let's just like drink and eat and be merry." And I'm like, so like it's probably the one space I've never been told I'm too much, which is so nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I 100% agree with you. I think I've played 2 LRGs now. I haven't been announced for either of them, but they changed my life. I'm with you. Like it just like I kind of fell into it. It just felt like I was on my Facebook feed and I applied, and then it just became this thing that I loved, and I met these people I adore. This community that just embrace you for who you are, regardless of who you are. Sure, everyone has their issues, as any group in life does, but like it's changed my life incredibly. Like I have this beautiful bonds that would normally take years to develop with people, but you just get straight to the soul of people. It's just like we got no time to waste. We have to like, are we gonna go? Let's go, and then you just go with it. You know what I mean? There's no like tiptoeing around like, oh, did they get like no, we have to like, I'm in whole hog. Let's go.
Yes, and like you can. I feel like it means that we can like be who we feel like being at this point in time in life. Because like there are dynamics where I'm just like, oh, like they're used to me being like this, or like, you know, my school friends think I should be like this, or just in general like this weird sense of like performativity that I fall into. I don't think anyone even expects it of me. I just do it. Whereas in the Survivor group, it's like very much like, who are you right now? Cool. All right, that's who you are today. And because Survivor's always changing, it's so dynamic. I might be very different the next time, but no one will be like, "You've changed. What happened?"
Yeah,
it's just like
exactly. Yeah,
this is what we get. And because we've all voted each other out for whatever reasons, like conflict is just such a different experience, because instead of worrying like, "Are you mad at me?" you can just be like, "Sorry," and they'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah,
and that's it.
exactly. Yeah, it's relatively easily rectified for the most part.
Yeah, like I feel like politicians should have a turn on Survivor. And maybe they'd learn how to do their jobs in a much more interesting way.
I love it.
I'd be.
It would be
I
such
will-
a boring season, but you know.
No personality.
Maybe we'd be pleasantly surprised. Maybe like we'd actually like find out their feelings or motivations for them.
Maybe.
Maddie P, would you play All Stars, Rosie, if you were invited back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yay!
We'd love to see you, especially that Melbourne has seen you play twice. You know, to win the what's it fucking called?
The trial.
The trial. Yeah, exactly. So it'd be great to see how you transition from this Melbourne season that we're watching now to an all-star season, where I think it would be a lot more I think it would be a lot more suited for you as well, with people I think who are maybe more willing to make those sort of close connections, those ride or dies, and create those tight bonds, as people know people already, whether you've played together or whether you're just in the community. But everyone like loves and adores you. So that would also make it, as Laurel had that experience, really hard to vote you out. And it'd just be great to see how you sort of flourish into what I could see as a really smart, strategical player, and just see how you go. So I'd love to see you on All Stars. You're getting a little vote for me, little words. So
your threat level would be off the charts. You'd be like, no, that Rosie.
Can't have
I
it at
don't
the
know.
end.
I mean, I haven't even made it to the merge, so like I'm not really a high threat level.
Yeah,
I'll
but
be
then
like,
you won your trial. Your second
No.
game out, you came out and
You
won.
give me Sandra vibes. Like, if we let you get too far, you get to the end and beat us all.
Yeah, you'd be too loved.
No, this is good. I reckon you should keep talking about this stuff. I'll keep talking about how I'm like incompetent. And it's like, and then people are like, yeah, we should just get her. I think she is kind of like ditzy. She's like, pretty like overly bubbly. Maybe it'll be fine. Actually, if it was blood versus water, I've often thought it'd be pretty funny, because now my partner and I, Baz, we have separated. I'm like, how amazing would it be if we could then in real life convince each other we like absolutely like well and truly hate each other, get onto the show, and then like are secretly working together all the time.
That would be hilarious. That's fantastic. Giving away your game plan now, Rosie. You've given it away.
But something tells me like quite a few things have to happen before that could happen. But I think it would be fun. Is there an All-Star coming up? Do I have to apply for that?
Nah, it's talked about. No one's doing it yet. All the LRGs.
Everybody wants it to happen, but no one wants to organize it because they want to be on it.
Yeah, exactly. All the players want to play it, and be picked as an All-Star, and to be returned as an All-Star would be a privilege for sure. And I think, and then also because it's like, does Melbourne just pick from Melbourne? Does Backyard just pick from Backyard? Like, or are you looking at, if someone's doing it, they're looking at all the LRGs to pick the best from everywhere?
Yeah, the way I see it is, if someone who is or isn't a player wants to come in and organize an Australian LRG All-Stars and just pick players that have played from all these seasons, great. I'm here for you. I'm your biggest supporter. But otherwise, it is a bit like, you really need someone to sort of step in and take ranks or take ownership, where you have Perth and Melbourne being established games where they've got multiple seasons to go off, and now Canberra as well. Canberra really ramping it up. So whereas Sydney and Brisbane are still really new, and it's really hard to sort of pick players from those LRGs, where you'd probably just be looking at the sort of three that I mentioned before, unless someone just wanted to make their own game and pick people.
Matty P's putting his hand up, so
I'll put my hand up.
He wants to be EP. He doesn't want to be the host. And Brady said, make it epic. Do it a full Thursday to Monday.
Yes.
You have to ramp up.
Make it 40 days. I'm down.
Yeah. I leave my kids behind, so it's fine.
Well, If we didn't have to worry about filming it and it was just like you just came to play, I feel like that would make it much more doable.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You could
Are
really
people
cut
still
down the
willing to
time
play?
if you didn't have to film it.
Yeah, and then oh my god, in Paran, there's like along the Yarra, there's Herring Island. Have you been there before?
No.
It's so freaky deaky. It's like the product of like landfill and like war planning from a long time ago. But it's this island that you can access only in the summer. And honestly, I reckon if we were to get a council permit and we could just be like, we just need this place for like 2 weeks to play this game, it would be really, really cool. If there's anyone out there who's like, I'm an ideas person, but I'm not really like logistically like accurate. But if someone else wants to do like that aspect, I can do all the dreaming and they can make it like come true.
Make it a reality.
Get in touch with me.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but then I wouldn't get to play. Oh no.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's why no one's done it because we all want to play.
Everyone wants to play. Yeah, it'd be super hard to organize. It'd be a lot of work. If you wanted to film the whole season, it would be an even more work. But otherwise, you could just do tribals and challenges where it's super easy to film. But yeah, someone would have to just take ranks and do it, set up all the challenges. It's a lot of work. And to get everyone from
cams instead, like body cams or like GoPros. So it's just like
to get everyone from different states as well, all available. People have to travel. It's a lot of work.
If they really want to be there, they'll make it themselves available.
Yeah, and if you don't,
as the person with no kids.
As the person with kids, if I really want to do it, I'll fucking make it work.
There you go.
All right.
Is there without spoiling anything, Rosie? Is there anyone from your season you want to see play All Stars? I just want a name. I don't want any details. Is that all right if I ask that, Dani and Jules? Will that give away anything? Or
that's fine.
Who do you want to see play All Stars?
Do I only get to pick one? Can I pick a bunch?
2. Yeah, you get 2.
Let's negotiate 4.
No. 2.
2. Aw. Well, that's really hard to say then. If it's purely just like for fun, because it's like, yeah, we all get to be together again. I think it would be cool actually to play with. Oh no, it's too hard. I think could I have 3?
All right, we'll compromise and go with 3.
Okay. So then I still do get to have I'm so bad.
You're like, no, Missy.
The funny thing is, I actually don't think I'm actually not even a particularly social person, but I do find this very hard to decide. I would definitely say like Annabelle, and actually, you know what, Laurel, you are going to have to be cut since you like single-handedly ruined everything. Okay, so I'll go with Annabelle, Mar, and Kate. But that's really devastating because I would have also really wanted to take Ash too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if I could have had my way and have 4, like I asked for, then that would have been cool. So basically, I just broke your
But you told us anyway.
Yeah, we can't stop you, so.
Spoilers, not following rules.
Lucas says you rival Angelina in terms of negotiation.
I
know Dani will like that comment.
Angelina's one of my favorites.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Dani, that face.
Yeah.
Is that
a problem?
Me either. Not gonna lie.
Which Survivor was that?
David versus Goliath. You got to watch it.
Great season.
Wait. I think I know who you mean. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, I'll double check later and then I'll.
Well, I think we've run relatively long. Thank you so much, Rosie, for coming on. It was such an
Thanks,
emotional
Rosie.
episode. We were all so sad to see you go. But thank you for coming on and being
Especially
very
me.
meta with us. We really appreciate it. And taking the time. I know it's late. I know you've just finished work and that you haven't really watched much. So I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
No, thank you so much for asking me. It's so kind of you. I did warn you I can be a chatty catty, so thanks for bearing with me.
No, we love it. That's
Those
fine.
sorts of fun.
We prefer that than someone who's not going to talk at all.
Yeah.
As if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Not with
Everyone
this
wants to
cast.
talk. Yeah.
Not with this cast. Everyone has lots of
How long you got? I reckon all of us become like our grandparents. We're like, let me tell you another story that's really relevant. It'll take us 20 minutes to tell it, but I promise you it comes back to a meaning. And it always does. Older people.
Then I tied an onion to my belt, which was a style at the time.
Yes, actually, if I could pass on one really quick story, like a quick.
Go for it, please.
Yeah, go.
So something that I've been sitting with for quite some time, is this thing that my mum was telling me in terms of migrant, like the migrant experience of coming here. And she was just like, sometimes we get pushed and pulled so far, like as an elastic, that we will never come back to the way things were. And initially I was like, this sounds sad, until my students taught me about types of rocks. And one of my students were like, my favorite kind of rock is metamorphic rock. And things like a metamorphic rock only metamorphoses under extreme pressure and extreme heat. And then it transforms into something else. And I think that that was like, for me, I was like, wow, the universe is always talking to me and it's beautiful. The universe is amazing. Sometimes in some lights, things seem really shit and we just think, how will we ever bounce back? And it's true, maybe we don't bounce back, but maybe in the metamorphic process, we become something that no one could have anticipated. And that's part of the mystery and the wonder. And it's so special. So I think that really is relevant to the survivor experience. We're always so changed from it. Some things are heartbreaking and some things are just, they just become something else. It couldn't have happened without it.
I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, we love you, Rosie.
I can't say anything else. I think we're gonna end with Rosie here with us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in to us. Don't forget, Melbourne, this episode 6, this Saturday, 2 p.m. is the usual drop, and we'll be back here next Tuesday, 8:30, chatting the shit.
Hot takes from Jules. All right, see you guys.
And yes, make sure you check out Sydney Survivor Cast Drop. You'll see a familiar face.
Ooh, all right.
No, just check.
No, that's his face.
Yeah,